Greetings.
Hello.
This is Can I Just Say One Thing?
That's Demi.
That's Jess. Welcome back.
Yes, welcome. We've had a crazy week again.
Yet again.
I don't know.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
We're late.
This is the week of Thanksgiving.
We record in advance because we just like to be prepared. So sorry that we're perfectionists.
Except for we're never
I mean
prepared.
Jess, and I suck.
No, it's not you.
I'm here to keep us grounded, okay? You want to shoot us to the moon, and I'm here to say, like, look, not everybody can be A+.
Humans. We can't.
You will be human with me. One day I'll be on your level. Not today, and not next week either, probably. I'm going to say 2019 is my year to shine.
That sounds perfect. This year flew by. It's nobody's year to shine.
Mm-mm. Ew. Ugh.
Yeah, we're on to next year.
California's on fire, everyone.
Yeah.
Like, so is my life.
Yeah, so we
Same.
just need to... we need to shoot for next year.
Yeah.
Next year, we will be on fire.
Yes. Literally.
How was your weekend?
So good.
Yeah, okay. Because you left. Sacramento, which is perfect. Because you needed.
I was like, I am getting out of the smoke. I can't take it anymore. Get me out. And so I loaded up the car and we drove down to visit my parents in Salinas. And the smoke was just as bad. It was a waste of a trip.
I think water, though, like, actually, because I was supposed to run on Saturday, like, outside, but the smoke was too bad. But my coach was just like, oh, the water, like, pushes out the impurities, like, away from the water. So I bet you still were a lot better off.
Totally. And, like, even if the smoke was bad, like, I haven't been home in a long time.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see my parents before Thanksgiving.
Totally.
And
yeah,
just get some time in with them. So, yeah, it was really good, really relaxing. I saw my friend, and, it was just a really quick trip, but awesome.
Needed.
Yes.
Needed. Yeah.
Much needed.
For, like,
lots of I mean, even though the smoke was bad in Monterey, it wasn't as bad as here.
Oh, for sure.
So, it still said unhealthy, but it said, what did it say? Like, unhealthy for sensitive groups.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, everyone's sensitive, but...
Well, especially after this last week.
Yes.
With all of that. Yeah. Super crazy.
Right. What did you do this weekend?
Not much, to be honest, and I'm totally cool with that. I like went to the gym yesterday and it was the worst. It just like wasn't.
Was the smoke affecting you?
Yes. So like I was like supposed to run 12 miles yesterday. It didn't work out. I ran 6, but after a mile and a half, like I stopped because I was going to stretch before like I did the rest of it. And I like completely got lightheaded.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I don't know if like smoke like came in or something like that.
Oh, totally. Which one did you go to?
Downtown. So there's a downtown gym, the one that Demi and I go to work out on Tuesdays. And I was like, man, I should have just gone to the class. The lady that teaches our Tuesday class, I should have just gone to the one instead of doing it.
That one, when we went last week, I did feel lightheaded.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were in like starting the thick of it. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah,
so,
pretty crazy.
Yeah. And you're doing some big plans for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I am so excited. It's like, it's coming up so fast. It's in like 3 days. And it's like that, I don't know. It's like that point where it just doesn't feel like it could actually be real. And so I'm just like, I'm not even going to think about it.
I know.
Because I'll be too excited.
We also have so much to do to get ready to do our things.
Oh my God.
It's so much. I have so much laundry to do and all that stuff. I'm going to Las Vegas. I'm going to meet my newest niece. Yay! She's 5 months old, and then I have my other niece Ellie, and then my nephew Spencer, my sister and brother-in-law are out there, obviously.
No, just the nieces and nephew. They're there.
They're the only ones there. But it's also mine and Shiloh's 9-year anniversary.
Yay! So cool.
I'm excited. We're just. It's so funny because, like, I think I mentioned this to you before. I don't know if I've said it on here, but so many of mine and Shiloh's anniversaries have been celebrated in Vegas.
Yeah.
And it's been years since we've been back just to like go back to Vegas. So it's like we're going back and we're going to like do the stuff that we always did. I'm going to fall asleep still at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, 100%.
He's going to stay up till 5 playing craps.
You know what you should do is there is a exhibit. I don't know where it is, and I don't really know what it's called, but I heard about it on And That's Why We Drink podcast.
What's the gist of the...
It's, okay, so it's a ghost hunters show, and I think either, like, the main guy on Ghost Hunters, his name is Zach Baggins. I thought it was a fake name. Like, I thought they just,
like a fake name.
Yeah. And they rag on him all the time. It's hilarious. I don't even watch the show, and they call him.
Oh no! What?
They call him Zach Bagel Bites.
What?
It's so rude, but I love it for whatever reason. And he's like, so there's the two girls, it's Christine and Em. Mm-hmm. And I guess at one point, Zach blocked Christine on Twitter.
Shut up. Oh, there's some hostility.
Yeah. But like,
I'm living.
Get over yourself.
Yeah.
He's so full of himself. Anyway, he has like collected like trinkets from all his experiences when he's doing like ghost tours or whatever he does. And so they went to Vegas for Christine's bachelorette party, and that was one of M's presents for her, is going to this event. And they had a really good time, and they were like, one of their episodes was just recapping.
Oh, cute.
It was, yeah. And I also recommend the Titanic exhibit because
I am obsessed with the Titanic. Not so much I've told you this. I like the first half of the movie. As soon as they hit the iceberg, I always turn the channel or turn the movie off. I never can make it the last
Did
time.
I show you that video of this girl?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, she's trying to help him up, barely.
So it was on Instagram. There was this, or at least that's how I saw it.
Yeah.
There was this girl like talking
What's her name?
about
Kiki Palmer. I don't know who she is.
I don't know either. She was on Steve.
Yeah.
Oh, which one was she on? She was like on a talk
Harvey.
show.
Steve Harvey.
Yeah. She was on a talk show, and she got so pissed.
She was so mad at Rose for like, she's like, she tried to pull him up on that door, barely. Like, oh my God. But true. Like,
no,
literally
whole thing is true.
Switch spots, because
there is no way.
There's no reason. If the water was that cold, like switching and having to swim would kind of keep you warm. I don't know what I'm talking about. I know nothing about being in the frozen waters.
But that would be something. Like, why would you want to stay like completely still?
You're like, how is it down there?
Yeah. Are you freezing?
Does
you're
it
dying?
Suck?
Cool.
You have icicles up your nose.
Yeah. I guess I'm going to let you go now.
Yeah, goodbye. I'll never let go.
Wink, wink.
Goodbye.
Ooh, Demi's about to take a drink of our...
You're not.
I'm not about to take a drink.
Do you know what this smells like? Wait. Oh. That was... Okay. One more time. Okay.
That was good.
It smells like blue cheese to me.
Really? Mm-hmm. It would be good with blue cheese.
Mm-hmm. I don't even like blue cheese.
I love blue cheese. I want to eat it all. I got very intense.
Fuming a little
bit. I'm in a weird mood.
Yeah. I like just woken up from nap, Jess.
Well, because I was so tired and now I'm delirious. But this is my favorite wine.
Yeah, it's like the aftertaste is blue cheese. Whoa.
Maybe that's why I like this wine. I don't know. This is the Apothic Dark I keep talking about.
Yes.
And I'm here for it. Sorry if you don't like blue cheese aftertaste.
Oh, no, it's fine. I don't like blue cheese, but I'm not mad about this.
I don't see that.
I'm only getting little hints of it.
Yeah.
I know what I'm talking about.
I know wine things.
I don't know anything.
Oh, man.
Okay, so here's the thing.
What?
This book, the journey I have been on mentally, emotionally.
Can I just say one thing real quick?
Absolute.
So you told me, you had texted me, I finished the book, and I was like, did you cry? And you're like, yeah, of course. I was reading the last few chapters, and I was like, where the fuck did she cry? Mm-hmm. There's nowhere to cry. Mm-hmm. Until there was the place to cry. And I was at work.
I was at work too.
Yeah. And I was just trying not to cry, stopping in the middle, patting my eyes and pretending that I was just staring at the screen for a while.
Yeah. 100%. I was looking up and I'm like, I hope nobody needs me right now.
Please don't.
I look pathetic.
Upon me.
Yeah, please don't even pretend you know me.
Man.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start at
chapter 21. Mm-hmm. So that starts off with the chapter, the Department of Social... I can't today.
Love that language. Beautiful. Is that Italian?
It's actually Spanish. It's the language my sisters speak.
Spanish.
España.
Barcelona.
I wish I knew it. The woman from the Department of Social and Health and Services came to check out Julia, see if
kind of
she
give
was
her the
fit.
rundown.
Yeah, and see if she was fit to adopt.
Oh, well, just to preface, where we're coming from.
Exactly.
So we kind of ended on, that was when...
Christmas had just happened.
Yes.
Julia wants to adopt the little girl from the woods, Alice, who she names Alice. She's still, learning words and learning how to be a little human in the world.
We made progress between Julia and Max.
Yeah.
Lots of progress. Still a lot of stuff to go through. But then Ellie and Cal are
like, their friendship is like
blossoming.
It's like becoming more of a friend. It's less one-sided. Deeper. And it's like, hey, Cal, sorry I wasn't a friend to you. I know I've been a selfish bitch.
Yes, basically.
Yeah.
And she's like trying to help him through his new divorce that she recently found out about. She's like very much stepping up and like helping him and his girls. And God, I hate his wife.
Yeah,
so much.
Lisa, right?
What a piece of trash.
I know, like, to just like up and leave your children.
Your children, three of them. Cheers.
Jinx. Yeah. Why do I keep going?
And Opa, shatter it. Goodbye.
Opa.
Okay, and then what?
So now we're into chapter 21. Now, like, we recapped.
Here we are.
And like I said, Department of Social and Health Services, a woman is there. She kind of came off as a little bitchy, though.
Little bitchy, but like you have to be.
Yeah, I think so.
You can't try and make friends with everyone, and like, because you're not giving away a child,
you're
but like
recommending a child be in your care.
Yep.
So I get it.
But Julia
she did
is
highly
like,
recommend her for the placement.
Totally.
Obviously.
Yeah. And she was kind of just like, you can literally ask me anything. You know that I am the best person for this.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And then
the biggest freaking thing happens in this chapter.
Oh, yeah? Tell me about it.
Okay. You ready? Not that you don't know. There is a man that comes in to Ellie's like station, right? She comes in the police station by the name of George Ezell. Now they like kind of like allude to the fact he is incredibly good looking. Peanut comes into Ellie and is like, "Hey, you need to come out here. There's a guy here." Like, he is very attractive.
Gorgeous.
So Ellie like kind of like fixes her hair, does her makeup,
and Cal sees.
Cal like she walks out and Cal realizes like,
I'm sorry.
What's happening? And his name is George Ezell. Now George Ezell says, "Hey, I'm the little girl's father." Dun dun dun.
Oh my God.
I know, like, do that super cash, but
were
like,
you expecting that?
It's not that I wasn't expecting anybody to like not come forward, but I kind of didn't expect them to like preface it with like, this good looking man is in town, like I was like,
oh my God,
what is happening,
Dude, and then okay. So this book was so good, like just great to read. And then in these final chapters, I was like, bombs exploding, shot fired. Yeah. Like, it wouldn't stop for a second. I couldn't. Okay, so when I first read I'm Her Father, I was like, you kept her in the woods? Like, you are this monster?
Who are you, scary asshole? Yes.
Okay. So now says, I'm her father. And then it kind of transitions into, whoa.
I just remembered the next bomb.
Go.
Where how, like, they figure out, I mean, I don't even know when it happens, if it was in this chapter or not, but they figure out that he was up for his wife's murder.
Oh, and hers.
So George Ezell has been in prison until recently.
He background on him.
Yes.
Super successful.
Very wealthy. Very
billionaire.
rich. Yeah.
Billionaire. Was married and what was her name? Crap. I cannot remember her name. Basically, he was charged with murder because his wife and 2-year-old daughter, Brittany,
who is aka Alice,
just fell off the face of the earth.
Yep.
And they found blood in his house. He had a really sketchy story. He was like, he flew a plane to his private plane to, I think it was like Alaska. And in the time that it would take for him to get from point A to point B, there was a 2-hour gap.
That was like kind of unaccounted for.
Totally.
Right?
And yeah, so I was like, what were you doing in those 2 hours? Murdering your wife and daughter probably and hiding her in the Yukon. Like nobody knows where they are.
Exactly.
And there were some other people who, like, their neighbors
in the neighborhood.
Yeah, their neighbors came forward and was like, well, I saw this van and this creepy guy, and they kind of checked it out, but we're like,
and he had like a hat and he had this like park.
Yes.
There were other things happening in the neighborhood.
But it was like, dude, there's blood in the house, 2 hours you can't account for. You are constantly fighting with your wife. Your neighbors know about
and
it.
You have
Both
affairs.
of you are having affairs.
Yeah, exactly. Both. Yeah.
Yeah. You're gone all the time. You're like known to be hooking. I think he was hooking up with his assistant.
Yeah, I think so.
Like openly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Didn't care. It's like his third marriage or something. And so, like, if this were a true thing, everybody would be like,
a husband.
Yeah, no, it's 1,000% the husband. Lock him away forever. Like, put a needle in his arm. I don't care.
Which is exactly why in this book, how it talks about how like the media just went after him. It's like, it has to be him. It's him. It's him. Like, this husband's guilty. Like, obviously, they ended up releasing him because there wasn't enough evidence, right?
Yep.
They just like, okay, we can't actually say that he is the person that did it.
Yeah.
There's nothing really against him. There was something specifically, though, I thought, no, I can't remember.
About him?
Him, like, getting out besides, like, what was it?
The reason why he was acquitted?
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, it was something like, something fell through in the case. Okay, so in chapter 22, he meets Julia. So Max... just kind of backtracking a little bit of how they ended up here. Max met up with Julia. They went and took little Alice to see her wolf. And it was a really great little moment. And then Ellie tells Julia they found a DNA match. So now Julia meets George as Azel for the first time, and it says, to make an extremely long story short, the Court of Appeals reversed the trial court's denial of a motion to dismiss. It was sufficiency of evidence. The Supreme Court agreed. I was released last week. And then someone says, on a technicality.
So one court...
I truly don't know what that means.
So I think it means like one court said he was guilty, and then he went to the Supreme Court. Not to the Supreme Court.
And they didn't have enough.
Yeah, they didn't think that it was actually enough. So then they acquitted it.
Okay.
So after that, I mean, Julia and George like get into it pretty heavy, right? And that in chapter 22, like they're fighting. Julia's like, you're not taking her away. She doesn't even know who you are.
Yeah, you don't understand
what she's been through. None of us understand what she's been through. No
one knows what she's been through.
Exactly.
She's just now starting to talk and open up. I don't think she's even identifying herself as Alice yet. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
She's still calling herself girl. And then he like kind of threatens Julia and says, tell Britt I'm on my way. She doesn't even know who Britt is.
I know.
Like, okay. So then he's like, see you in court.
So like basically like Julia, along with the help of her sister, Max, Cal, and like other people like hunker down to try to find anything on this guy. They're just like, can we find anything to show that he's not a suitable? Because the whole thing is that the state of Washington like wants to reunite families. Like,
sure,
they're
more in favor of that
exactly than like having the kids separating them. So like they're just like, we need to
find that missing link that makes him guilty.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so then Zoe is his wife's name. I just ran across it. Zoe Azel. So they're saying in April of 2002, George placed a call into the police department saying that his wife and 2.5-year-old daughter Brittany were missing, and they were missing for more than 24 hours. The police revealed that he was having an affair and had requested a divorce. Oh, that she was having an affair and had requested a divorce from him. And then he was also having an affair with, his personal assistant. There had been several calls for domestic disturbance. So they were constantly fighting, like we were saying.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. And that said a local flower delivery man arrived at the home at 4:45 on a Sunday to deliver flowers. Just a lot of weird stuff.
And he was the one that noticed somebody random that had like a hat. I'm pretty sure it was the flower delivery guy that noticed somebody else in the neighborhood that looked a little suspicious.
No. So George called in on April 12th or April 13th. And at noon on Sunday, April 12th, the neighbor, Stanley Seaman, witnessed Azelle loading a large trunk and a smaller sack-like canvas duffel bag onto his seaplane. So that's not who identified the stranger with the baseball hat. What did you just find?
So it says that that was the flower delivery guy. So the flower delivery guy came to the Azelle home at 4:45 on Sunday to deliver flowers, but nobody was answered. But he looked across the street and saw a van parked, and it was a Caucasian male in his mid-30s wearing a yellow jacket and a Batman baseball cap.
Right.
Batman baseball cap? Like,
I know. Way to draw attention. You're a man.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
Calm down. But they had already found so much evidence in the home. They were like, I mean, it doesn't matter if you had delivery drivers out front. Like,
yeah, I mean,
why would we look into that when we clearly have what we need?
And somebody saw you load a sack,
yes.
a trunk in a sack, like,
and then you disappeared off the face of the earth for 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I mean,
he set himself up.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, why can't you account for those hours? I don't get it.
Did they not have his DNA in the system? If you're booked, if you're in the prison system, don't they have your DNA?
I would think so. But what do you mean? Like,
so, because they ran the little girl's DNA.
Oh, yeah, that's strange.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking the whole time. I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
I truly know nothing about this stuff. I pretend to be all-knowing, but definitely don't know. So obviously he's not in prison anymore. He comes after.
Right.
Sounds horrible. Comes after his daughter. No, he wants to come get her back.
Yeah.
Which I would too. I mean, like, if you found out your daughter was alive.
Totally. Of course.
Yeah. I mean, it makes total sense. I mean, of course, we're like so connected to Julia, and we're like, oh, Julia obviously should keep her. She's like,
But, right. Yeah. So then it just kind of to catch up where we are in the book now, we're still in chapter 22, and it says, then the gang kind of gets together, and Julia said, or no, I'm sorry, it's Ellie. Ellie says, we don't have to prove he's a murderer, just an unfit parent.
Exactly.
So that's kind of the direction that they're going in. Which is, I guess great. I don't know. It's weird.
Hard,
it's weird to not cheer for a parent.
Yeah, totally.
To have their kid.
It's not that you don't want to cheer for the parent. You want them to have a relationship.
Right.
You just know
in any other situation.
Yeah. And you know that this little girl has gone through some shit.
Totally.
Like, she has, we don't understand the level. She obviously is having problems mentally. She's learning a language for the first time. In the case where she's an actual psychiatrist, Julia's a psychiatrist, like, you want her to be able to do well. You want her to work with her because she already has that trust established. And, I mean, just throughout these chapters, he's like, well, I'm not going to use you as a psychiatrist.
I know.
So I'm just like, one, why wouldn't you? But also, like, that's where you're wrong. Like, you should have it.
Yeah. Okay. So it makes me really frustrated when we do get into that. Like, why wouldn't you want the person that, well, okay, he doesn't understand the depth of her trauma.
No.
And can't comprehend it. So maybe if he saw their interaction and saw like, oh my God, she can't talk.
Yeah.
She's a wild animal.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that would open his eyes a little bit.
And that does make sense because obviously he has no idea. And I get it. Like, you want to get your daughter back. You want to start a semblance of like a normal life after all the trauma both of you have gone through. You've been in the, prison system and all that stuff. Like, I get it. But it's just like, it is the whole story. I mean, it's sad. Like, it's a sad situation. It's like, yeah, of course you wanted a parent of hers to be alive or both, but you wanted it to turn out well. But, like, you're just seeing both sides of the coin. And Alice is, like, sensing that Julia's having a hard time, and she just keeps saying, like, when she's in her own mind, when Chris and Hannah is like saying, like, Alice is in her own mind, she keeps seeing, like, water leaking from her eyes, and, like, she just can tell that she's sad, and she knows that she's sad, and
she can feel a difference. Yeah,
exactly.
So then Max goes over to Julia's, and I think he like goes and drops her off or something. And Max says, it doesn't matter when, come over when you can, you'll need me.
Yeah.
And I just love that he's not even like, if you need me, like, come over. He's telling her, like, this is big. Like, I will be there, and you will.
Yeah.
And I know, and just come over.
Yeah. Exactly.
So at this point in the book, I'm very much on board with Max. I wasn't in the beginning because he just seemed kind of sleazy, cheesy.
And he was.
A little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that I didn't see it, but I'm just like, Chris and Hannah is not going to write a dick love interest.
I know.
So
it's
I'm just
true.
like, I just knew.
I was just suspicious, cautious. But
I like that. That's true. Cautious.
Yeah. My friend...
What?
My friend Brittany texted me because she's reading with us right now. Hi, Brittany. And she's like, my neighbor would be the perfect Max. And she sent me a picture. I'll show you later. But I was like, oh, dang. Yeah.
I wish we could post that on Instagram, but we can't.
No.
I know, obviously we can't. But I'm just like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh. That's who I picture now.
I want to see. In chapter... Is that when he says it in chapter 23, like, come over whenever?
I think I'm in 22 still, but I can I'll go to 23.
I have no idea where I am, to be honest.
Wait a minute.
What? Are we in?
Where am I? Hold on. Okay, but wait. She does go to Max's house.
Yeah, she does. And this is when they finally have sex, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but I wasn't really into this way that they had sex.
No.
Okay, cool.
No.
I mean, not cool, but, like, okay, so... Yeah, so Julia, when does that happen? Like, Julia goes over to Max's house.
I think we're at the end of 22, and that's right. So Max leaves her house and says, come over when you can, you'll need me. I took that as whenever, not like in 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but she puts Alice down for bed, and then she's driving over to Max's. And pale light spills through an open window and casts him in a beautiful golden glow. Wait. She felt a powerful jolt at the sight of him. Coochie twinge.
Dipping into some erotica.
Oh,
Except for it doesn't last very long. I'm just like,
oh
give
no,
me
this is
more.
when it gets so bad.
Tell me now.
She touched a finger to his lips. Take me to bed, Max.
Yeah.
Boo.
I have never said that in my life. Like,
never say that in your... No. The reason I would say that is because I'm drunk. And I'm like, take me to bed and bring some French fries.
If there's no French fries with you, we are done and over.
Oh, yeah. My God.
It would literally be like, take me to bed. I need you to play with my hair so I can fall asleep. Thanks. And even then, I don't think I would say that. But hey, they had sex.
But they did the deed, and then
they did
at the end, at the end of it, she said, yesterday I was worried about a lot of things. Today I know what matters. And he says, Alice. And then she says, yes. And you. Yeah. So that's kind of big because that's like more. It's not just like I'm lonely and sad and I need to distract myself with sex. It's like.
Totally.
I'm really falling for you.
Yeah. And he obviously is too.
And then, well, also, dang, 22 is not
lit.
Even. It's just lit. So this is when he starts to slowly reveal his past. Susan, love of his life, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, this isn't the right time. And then she asks, like, will there be a right time? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And then
he like wants to share that with her, but it's just not. I think because there's so much happening right now, he kind of
it'd be way too much.
Yeah, it'd be too much. It'd be too much for everybody to handle, including himself.
Yeah. So then, well, it kind of goes back to Ellie. Mm-hmm. So Ellie's just kind of like going through all of this in her head, and she's pissed, and she's like, he's guilty. Like everybody at this point is like this guy is very much guilty. We need to keep him away from his daughter because he's up to no good. Mm-hmm. So then he approaches her at the coffee shop in town. And
yes, she approached him. That's what it was. So he was sitting there. Right. And she's like, hey, Mr. Azell, can I join you? I have some questions. He's like, of course you do.
Bet you do.
You know? Yeah. And so they kind of talk a little bit. And she tells him, like, Alice needs Julia. Can you understand that? And he's like, there is no Alice. Mm-hmm. Which is true. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, she was...
For him.
For him. Yeah, for them, obviously, Alice is the little girl they've come to know and love. And so it's just like... He ends on, like, I won't lose my daughter twice, which I totally get.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he thought his daughter was dead for all these years, you know. Could you imagine, like, losing your wife and still don't know where she is? Yeah. Still have no idea.
And everybody thinks that you're a murderer. Exactly. Just roaming the streets because probably everybody thinks that because he's rich.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Like, oh, the rich guy gets away with it or whatever.
Dang, I am still on 22. 22 is a very long chapter.
So crazy. What? Is this when
they go to court for the first time?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they go to court, and it says, so Azell's attorney is trying to say that, like, my client, George, is really wealthy. Julia is just a psychiatrist. My client can afford to replace her. Mm-hmm. You know, my client, everything. Totally. My client has also gone through tremendous loss. He should just be given back immediate custody. But then Julia's lawyer is like, Alice has made so much progress with Dr. Cates that it would be
detrimental.
Yes.
Oh, exactly.
Girl, same. Was gonna say that too. Yes.
Reading your mind.
Colleagues.
Colleagues.
No, I was going to say it now.
Well, now that we know the word.
And then after that's kind of the ruling for...
that. So the ruling is...
temporary.
Is that, yeah, the judge says temporarily Alice is going to stay in Julia Cates's guardianship or whatever. Mm-hmm. And of course, like, George is pissed about it. But Julia hands over video cassette tapes and is just like, just watch these. Like,
yeah. You need to see what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not that she's being a little brat. Like, it's bigger than you think. And so then after that, George approaches Julia and is like, I need to see her. And then she gives him her address and says, be there at 1 tomorrow. Yep. So at least, like, she kind of understands, and she like kind of knows that this is the best, like, she can do right now. She's also being a psychiatrist.
That's
like,
what I was going to say.
Trying to separate herself.
Exactly. I mean, you kind of have to be. I mean, like, this is the parent. Like, you have to be like, I know. I mean, I love this little girl. I want the best of her, but, I mean, she needs to know her father. Mm-hmm. And now we're in 23.
Yeah, here we go.
Woo, that was an epic chapter, though.
Yeah, I mean, a lot went down.
Good. Yeah. This is when Julia's trying to put Alice down, and Alice is asking, like, please read. And she's like, no, you have to sleep. And this is when Max has his, he thinks about his little boy. Dan. Yeah, Dan. And he's like, one more story he would have said. That little boy they called One More Dan, and Dan the Man. And I'm like, oh, that's so sad. Like, bringing back all these memories. But it's probably so cathartic at the same time. Like, it's probably painful, but, like, having a little kid and being around something he would need to... I feel like he hasn't coped with it. Mm-hmm. And this is, like, his way... Yeah, exactly. He ran away from it. And this is his way to, like, finally kind of lay to rest all his memories and, like, be cherish them.
Peace.
Yeah, exactly.
And then also, he, like, there after, like, Max, like, puts down, what is he doing? Like, putting her down for a nap or something like that, because they're having coffee. And then Max says to Julia, you told me once I could have all or nothing from you. I choose all. And she said it took you long enough.
I love the cheese. I love the cheese.
That one was pretty good.
Yeah. I'm just like, now that they're like starting their relationship, I'm like, get the cheesiest shit going on.
Once they're like fully committed, I'm like, I love it.
Yeah.
But before, when he's a player, I'm like, don't you dare light candles.
Yeah.
Get the lighter out of here. Bayberry?
You turn off that sexy music.
Do not turn on jazz.
How dare you?
Don't ever. Don't have wine chilled for me.
But please do.
Do it.
But rosé.
No question. Sorry. Yeah. Not sorry.
Sorry.
And then, well, this is interesting.
Tell me.
Later on, Julia and Alice are together, and Julia just says the name Brittany.
Yeah, so
to see if it triggers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she like puts the little girl on her lap and looks directly in her eye, and she's like, "Are you Brittany?" Mm-hmm. And the little girl looks at her and she's like, "Me, Alice."
Oh,
and I'm just like, but the little girl does have a trigger. Like, she kind of recognizes Brittany, and then it's just like, huh?
Julie's eyes started leaking again.
I know.
Little baby. Me, Alice.
Yeah, it's really
so
sweet.
But then it gets terrible.
Yeah. Then the shit hits the fan.
Yeah, I really just want... What else can we really say before we get into the woods? Because the woods are where shit gets real nitty gritty.
Oh, this is when George goes to the station, to Ellie's station, and like they have a drink together.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
Weird interaction.
It was because it was kind of like,
I never know. When I was reading this, I was like, am I like defensive right now? Do I feel defensive for Ellie and all these people? Or am I like on his side because he's this mourning father who's like getting a second chance?
Exactly.
But I was on the defense.
I know, me too.
The whole time.
But he like totally calls her out, and he's like, I expect you to be a police officer and not side with your sister. And I'm like, that's hard.
It's true.
It is true though. It's totally
very true. You have to be, what is that word? Not indifferent. Professional, but like
removed.
Yeah, kind of removed. I can't think of the word I'm thinking of.
Colleague.
Big surprise. Right, you have to be colleague about it. Idiot. God, I need to like read a dictionary or something. Like, who are you? Yeah, that's a great point though, is that she does need to be professional, separated. Yeah. Yeah,
she is a sister, but when it comes to like the community, like you you have to make sure that you put that first in some ways. Like obviously there's, it's hard. It's so hard. Wait, hold on. Is this when they talk about taking her maybe into the woods though?
Oh yeah. It says maybe she could lead us back to where she was kept or held. And then and then Julia's like, oh my God, like, do you even know what that would do to her? It
could re-traumatize her, make her mute again.
Yeah.
But basically, like, you have to come to an agreement. Like, I am actually really irritated that they haven't gone to the woods at all. Like,
I know.
She came from the fucking woods.
You didn't.
Why wouldn't you go see if the person who was keeping them captive, because if George Azelle, like, put them in the woods, like, wouldn't you want to go, like, see if he, whatever the situation may be, wouldn't you want to go back to the freaking woods? Yeah. I'm so, like, this is why it's this podunk little town, because like the police in most other towns probably
I would have gone to the woods the second she was found.
100%.
Yeah.
Because
I think we said this in the first or second episode. What if she was with family and they're hurt?
Totally.
I mean, obviously with how dirty she was and like not communicating, you kind of know, but like at the same time,
what if they fell from a cliff and they died and she was dirty because she was living off, like
their meat and bones. No, I'm just kidding.
Donner party.
Favorite. Love the Donner party forever. I'm not kidding.
I like it. You have
my favorite.
You also have artwork in your living room. That's like,
I saw that at the Scout Living and I was like, that is mine. And I didn't buy it for like 3 months.
Oh, it was still there for that long?
Oh, is there the other one I wanted is still there too. I can probably get it for so cheap.
Demi has a piece of artwork in her living room.
Oh, we'll post it.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah.
But it like features like a wagon
party.
Yeah, going through. It looks like snowy.
Like a passage.
A passage
of some sort.
And I was like, is that supposed to be the Donner Party? And you're like, yup.
Yeah. Dude, Donner Party is where it's at.
Have you been to like the area that they're actually?
Well, I haven't been
Donner
there,
Pass. Yeah.
but Donner Summit, like when you're driving to North Shore, I get stoked. I'm like, where was it? Where were they? Where's the tree that fell? Where are the bodies? Give me all of the history. I listened to this podcast about the Donner Party.
I want to know.
Oh, dude, let me find it for you.
Please.
It was like the history one. I don't care. You shut up. Listen to me.
I have to talk about the Donner Party.
Okay, there is so much to talk about with the Donner Party.
I need to know all the things.
Okay, did you know, really quick?
I don't know anything. I mean, I know like the things.
So obviously they were coming west, and their party, the snow started to fall, and they were like, okay, they got caught in this thick of trees that their wagons couldn't go through. And so they're like, we need to fell these trees and make a path for ourselves. So they started clearing some trees, and then they realized that's just how the woods are. And
so
one guy got his arm cut off or something, or like broke an arm and like fell off a tree. Yeah. And so then there's like snow everywhere, and they can't go anyway because their wagons can't get through the snow. So they're like, okay, we're going to set up camp and stay here. You 3 men are going to take these horses and go find something. So they must have found Truckee, I would assume. And then by the time they came back.
That's why people had been eaten. Well, Sutter.
They already died, though. They didn't kill them to eat them. They were dead.
Right. No, yeah.
That's what a lot of people think. That's what I thought when I was little. I was like,
they kill people.
Yeah.
Well, Sutter. What's his
John
Sutter, is that what it was? So Sutter's Fort is really famous in Sacramento. Did you know that's not the original spot that it was?
I didn't.
Okay, so there's a place called Sutter's Fort.
Yeah, that's not it.
That's not. So it is there, but that's not the original place it was, I guess. I was talking to a coworker about it.
Was it?
I have to figure that out, but I don't know for sure where it was. But that wasn't the original place. Anyway, so John Sutter led like the crusade to like go find them, right? And I was like, that's so.
Oh, he
crazy.
did.
Mm-hmm.
To find the Donner Party.
Yeah.
He was the one that came back.
I don't know if he came back, but he was the one that like had set up Sacramento essentially, and he like heard that somebody was caught, and so he like went to go try and find them. Yeah. At least that's what I've learned. I don't know the details, obviously.
I have to find that podcast again.
I need to know it.
It was a good one. Okay.
Getting into Max.
Here we are. So sorry. If you guys know anything about the Donner Party, just go ahead and shoot us an email. Thank you.
Slide into those DMs.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, here we are.
Max is getting out of the shower.
Yup.
Thinking like Christian Grey status.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes.
Living in my own mind.
Oh, God.
Even though, okay, sorry, another sidebar. You know, I was like, I couldn't watch the last like 50 Shades movie because I'm like, I was watching it with my boyfriend. It got very awkward.
No, by yourself.
I know. Yeah, like legit rather watch porn with him. And so I was watching with him. I was like, I can't do this. This is so cheesy. It's so bad. So then he left, and I was like, okay, I can watch it by myself now.
Did you finish it?
I did finish it.
How was it?
It still sucked, but
no.
There was a part where Christian Grey was like in the shower, and I'm like, and it had like a raining shower head.
Pause. I'm just gonna pause and mute and just enjoy the view. Dude, I will say it. All over your body. Did you watch The Fall that he was in? Jamie Dornan?
I didn't finish it.
He's too hot. I don't.
To be like a serial killer.
This from the first podcast that we ever do to the last one. He's too hot to be a serial killer. He's too hot. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. He is a good actor, though. The show is good. The show is really good.
Oh, I have to tell you about a new show that my mom and I just watched. It's called Mr. Mercedes. We can talk about it later. But I watched one episode with her, and it was wild. I was like,
one episode?
One episode. I was on season 2, episode 8, and I just was like hanging out with my mom.
Yeah.
And she like, mother. And great. Great. Awesome show. Really great.
I'm here for it.
You should be.
Truly here for it.
You would like it.
Is it about murder?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then yes, I'm here.
Do I talk about anything else? No.
Typically, no.
Is there anything else to talk about?
No.
No. Mm-mm. Okay, so Max shower.
In the shower.
So back to Jamie Dornan.
Oh, yeah. Jamie Dornan in the shower.
Belle and Edward are still in Florida.
No.
The Vishrudis are... Wait, Vilturi? Vishruti was a girl I went to high school with. Hi, Vishruti. I don't know where you are, but hopefully you listen to our podcast.
Yes, please. There has been random people.
Volturis.
Yeah.
So they're in Italy. Okay. I did it for Benny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Max in the shower.
Yeah. So,
he toweled off, put on an old pair of Levi's. Definitely Jamie Dornan.
Absolutely.
And he answers the door because Julia's there. And he's like, Ellie wants to take Alice into the woods. Mm-hmm. And she's like she's kind of stammering on her words. And he just pulls her into his arms, you know. And I mean, it is a good idea. I mean, again, like we just said, like they should have done that from the beginning.
Totally.
Like, it's a great idea. Like obviously it's probably going to be pretty traumatic for her.
Right.
But like you have to do it. You
totally.
You truly have to do it.
Yep. I agree. And again, he says someday he'll tell her about Danny, and we're in chapter 24.
Yeah. He does say that he was my son though. Like he says like I had a son. So chapter 24, and this is like Julia trying to prepare Alice because George is coming over to actually meet her and talk with her and stuff like that.
So George comes over and sees Brittany for the first time, and he's like, oh, Brittany, and is just so shocked to see her. I mean, he hasn't seen her since she was 2.
Right.
And probably thought she was dead.
I'm sure.
You know? And so he's having a moment, and everybody's like, get this murderer away from this little kid.
And she's freaking scared out of her mind. Like, she's starting to growl.
Yes.
And Ellie's like,
Same.
that means she's scared. Yeah. Same. Ellie's like, that means she's scared. And then he surprises her by singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And he's like, you know me, don't you, Brittany? At the name Brittany, Alice spun away and ran up the stairs because she doesn't want to be. I mean, she is identified as Alice. Yeah. And then Julia's like, "Who's here, Elle?" She hears something, and it's the freaking media.
Ugh.
Which means George called the media. Yeah, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, if you want any, like, why would you want media on you right now? You just got out of prison.
I don't understand.
Yeah, for saying that
maybe it looks good that he's like looking for his daughter and wants to be reunited, and it, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. But at the same time, like, how would you not want your privacy after all of the horrible media?
Totally.
Like, media spins everything, you know.
So Julia asks him at one point, like, or he says, how much does she talk? Like, what does she say? Like, does she remember anything? And Julia's like, is that all that matters to you? And he says, fuck you. Yeah. But he's like a little bit defensive. Yeah. And so it's more like, yeah,
fuck you. Like, no,
like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. Yeah.
Give me some slack.
Exactly. I don't know exactly even what to ask. I have no idea how to react to this whole situation. It is so crazy. And so they finally like settle on the fact that they're going to take the little girl out and try to find where she's from, and her spot in Ellie's like, no media, you can't tell them anything that we're doing, because they need to get his head start. Like, could you imagine if the media got out there, they'd tamper with any evidence that they would find, if they are to find any.
So no media, they agree. And so now they're deciding to set out and try and find this spot. It's Ellie, Cal, Earl, Julia, and Alice, and they're waiting for George and I think that's
his lawyer. George and his lawyer.
That's right. So,
and they're like, "Are you sure about this?" And they're like, "Not really." But they have a little surprise for Alice.
Her little wolf.
And she, like, the wolf has like a muzzle on and a leash, and she's like saying like, no, free the wolf, you know, and they obviously know they can't like get rid of the muzzle, but they do let the wolf off the leash and they stay together the whole entire time. Could you imagine like just kind of feeling like at ease, like with you and Dakota, like when he, you know,
Dakota's so dumb.
I mean, but still, like,
no, I know.
If you come home like after a while,
it's
you know?
true. Like as cheesy as it sounds, like her and I do have.
You're
like,
the alpha female.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like you and Dakota, like Dakota listens to you more than anybody else.
I know. She's my girl.
Yeah.
She's my main girl. Mm-hmm. So they set off onto their journey, and it's so cute that Alice and this wolf, they're like at peace, at home.
The most at home that they've ever been.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
and they
like,
know exactly where they want to go. So they're heading out, and they don't make it the first night. They have to set up camp one night because they're going so far in. One night when they're setting up the campsite, no one can really sleep, and it is Ellie, Julia, and I think George. Yeah, George and
so Ellie and Julia are talking first, and they're like, "Whatever, like I couldn't have done this without you." And
having a sister moment.
The sister moments.
They're officially bonded sisters now.
Yes.
Like nothing's going to come between them.
No, and nothing ever. It just makes my heart so happy. You know it does. I'm just like, I live for it. I live for those sister moments.
Yeah.
And while they're having their little moment, George comes up. No, but it's fine because it's just fine, like I couldn't sleep. And like they just kind of all like understand that they're all afraid. Like they're just like, yeah, we have no idea what we're gonna find out here.
Yep.
So they wake up the next day and
they just set off again.
So as they're walking up the river, like Alice stops and she's like no, Alice, go. Like I'm not gonna go past there. And Julia's like, you're such a brave little girl.
Oh my gosh. Can we talk about, is she setting the wolf free?
Oh, did she do it yet?
She sets the wolf
She
free.
does set the wolf free.
This is in her mind, and it says, Alice's heart is pounding in her chest. She knows that, Alice, she's identifying. She knows she should run, which is in all caps, but she can't leave Julie. She hears the voices here, the leaves in the trees. Wolf brushes up against her, and she feels sad at the thought of losing him again, but Wolf needs his family. And then, bye, she whispers. And then my heart broke into a million pieces.
Yeah, and then he's gone.
Because life goals is having a pet wolf. Like,
could you imagine?
Life goals.
Although I would like a cheetah or like I'm more of a cat person.
Yes. So, I mean, badass. For sure.
Yeah.
So Alice is leading the way, and then it says, there it is, a mound in the earth covered with stones. Mommy, Alice says, pointing to the rocks.
Yeah.
It is a word she thought she'd forgotten. Mommy had kissed Alice the way Julie does.
I know. And tucked her
into
a bed.
This is when I started crying.
Is this when it was?
This is, yeah.
I can't remember when I started crying. I'm definitely sure I probably started crying here. For sure. I get, like, kissing Alice, whispering, be good for mommy, remember her. And it's just like, oh, and Julie's like, Julia, I keep saying Julie because she calls her Julie. Yeah. Is like just understanding, you know, like, of course she is. I mean, she's a psychiatrist, but it's just.
Oh, yeah, this is crazy too. The old mommy is there with her, waving goodbye. Alice knows she is sleeping. She knows, too, that in the world where she is only Alice, she is in Julie's arms and she is safe. I think I was definitely crying because I'm going to start crying again.
Yeah, that's so cute. So they're in this area that Alice was staying and
kind of seeing the layout.
So it's a cave.
There's a pole.
A pole outside though. And it has a little tiny she was tied up to. It had a little tiny, ankle bracelet or whatever that she had gnawed her way through, and like ran away. And so like they go into this cave, and what do they find in there?
They find a little bed area set up, and the Batman hat,
a trunk with a Batman hat and the yellow jacket,
yellow jacket.
Yep.
All of it.
Everything
that they basically needed.
So the florist that comes to deliver those,
like we said.
Yeah, the flowers and sees somebody in a van across the street with a freaking Batman hat, you freaking childish piece of shit.
Yep.
In a yellow jacket is the one that ended up kidnapping them. And killing. It doesn't say, like, they never figure out in the book how the mother died though, right?
I think she got sick. So
okay, she did. Okay. And that would make sense because it doesn't say anything.
I know that they kind of go back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wait. So that is how they end chapter 24, is finding the scene. They go back in town. You know, the news finally breaks that this is happening. And George kisses Ellie. And it wasn't romantic.
No. But it was also weird.
Very.
It was just like, why did you even need to do that? Even if
anybody kissed me on the mouth to say thank you, I would be so weirded out. Besides Brett, obviously.
But that's totally different. But that doesn't make any sense to me. That's not that's not so congratulatory. Weird. That's not.
Don't put your mouth on my mouth.
Yeah. Who do you think you are?
I mean, he's hot and she's hot. Get it a little bit.
But not even that. That's not, they're not even, nothing's been pursued. There's not even any type of, she, fixed up her hair and makeup once before she even saw him because Peanut's like, oh, hey, this guy's kind of cute. Right. You know? There's nothing happening. But, yeah, it was super strange that's kind of how it ended. But then this is what's cool, though, is that Ellie she talks about, I would have typically gone for it. Yeah. I would have, gone into the kiss and, gone, but she's like, nah. Because. No thanks, I'm good.
Why? Tell us, Jess.
She's into Cal.
Bam, 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 bam. She wants Cal. We're going into chapter 25. Let's crack into this. She's doing it.
Peanut's like, bitch, didn't you realize that somebody's been into you?
It's not everybody.
That was verbatim.
Yeah, that's literally what that chapter is. And on to 26 we go. Just kidding. Here we are. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. That does happen in chapter 25, but they found out, they discovered Zoe Azel's body in the woods.
Because there's a little umlaut. Yeah.
Mine says Z-O.
Oh, mine's Z-O-E with the umlaut.
No way.
That is so crazy. Our books say different things.
Look.
Oh, yeah. Mine says...
You see?
Uh-huh, I do see. That is so weird.
I'm sorry. Give me the E. Zoe.
That is so weird. I have no idea. Yeah, our books say totally different things. Okay,
anyway. So they're
Mrs.
Azel, yeah. The crime lab confirms her identity, and they also identify the man who kidnapped them as Terrence Speck. Do you also have that name? I get a cross-reference check? Thank you. Terrence Speck. He'd had a long history of problems.
Richard Speck.
Oh my god.
Which was another serial killer.
Oh my god, crazy.
Let's little recap on him real quick.
Richard Speck. Richard Speck was the guy that broke into the nursing home in, I think it was the 1960s or 70s, and murdered 13 nurses systematically. That's right. He locked them into one bedroom and drug them into a different bedroom one by one.
8 student nurses is that what you said?
I said 13.
Okay.
Because I'm excessive.
On July 13th.
I literally had no idea what month it was. But that's pretty crazy.
But it's crazy.
8.
Yeah.
Yes. He is actually just berserk.
Yeah.
He's off the rails. He was in Mindhunter too. I mean, not himself, but his story was in Mindhunter. That scene, I will never... Do you remember that?
I don't. I need to rewatch that show. I loved that show.
Just got chills. Can I tell you?
100%.
Okay. Wait. I don't know who's seen it. It's literally your own personal problem if you haven't seen Mindhunter, because I'm about to drop some knowledge.
Yeah, we've talked about Mindhunter on here before anyway, so get with the program, people.
So Richard Speck is that guy that they're interviewing, and he has that bird in his pocket, and at the end of the interview, he throws it into a fan and kills it.
That's right.
I lost my mind.
The real Richard Speck, I'm looking at his picture right now, and besides the very first picture, because he looks like a psychopath, but like the other pictures, like I don't really see it.
They're all, ooh, that's so scary. He's so normal.
I know.
Dude, I don't.
No thanks.
Okay.
I'm good.
Can't handle that.
Nope.
But okay, so back to Terrence Speck. Okay, we need to talk about this. He had a long history of problems with the law. He had been convicted of first-degree rape twice. Mm-hmm. He had also been a suspect in all those Spokane prostitute disappearances a few years ago, but no solid evidence. He had been killed in September by a hit and run.
Which means that's why the little girl was
left
there. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I want to talk about this. So any crime podcast I listen to and they find out who the killer is and he has this history with the law. Why are we letting those people go?
Without like being like surveillanced at the least.
I don't ever think in the history of ever
like violent crime.
Has anybody been convicted of first degree rape twice and served their okay.
Demi's getting ropus.
What is good behavior? You woke up on time in prison? You put away your tray from lunch in prison? You pressed your clothes in prison?
Yeah.
You didn't shank anybody? What the fuck is good behavior?
That's a great motherfucking question. Truthfully. Like, I don't know.
The fact that there are people in prison for having less than an ounce of marijuana in their pocket and they're going to be in prison for 20 plus years. Mm-hmm. But people like this get out on good behavior. I know this isn't a real person, right. But this is something I hear. Like, I hear it every day.
This is like, that's also playing into racism though too. Like
100%,
people that are
1,000%
have an ounce of freaking marijuana on them are most likely people of color and they should not be in prison.
Yes. I cannot understand the system. And maybe it is because there are for-profit prisons.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
How can anybody be convicted of rape twice and get out?
I have no idea.
Even once.
I don't know. That's a violent offense.
It is so violent. It's essentially murder because you have forever murdered a person's soul.
Right.
I get so confused. I don't understand how many people does that have to, how many desks does that have to come across? Because they're not just one prison guard's like, that guy's kind of a nice guy. We should let him out today. No, it has to go through so many things and people and signatures and.
Truly don't know. Truly don't know.
I want to talk to somebody because it blows my mind.
What warrants good behavior? I wonder if there is somebody we can talk to about that. We should look into that.
I know.
At least reach out to somebody via
good
email.
Behavior? That's that's what I want to know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's different in different prison systems, but at the same time, like, for somebody to get off, like, a lesser sentence for, like, second-degree murder or something,
Dude, murder is murder.
Exactly.
You know what is bullshit to me? Attempted murder. That's
tried to mother freaking
and
murder
you
somebody.
Didn't do your job good enough, and so you get a lesser sentence.
So you can try it
Literally
again.
Push them in the middle of the ocean and like sail away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I could go on forever because that's all I can think about anytime I listen to my podcasts, and I'm just like.
Doesn't make any sense.
Sorry. They raped how many women?
And they were let go how many times?
They assaulted this many people and raped this many people and burglarized these many homes. It's just like they're not like us.
No,
they
so
should
violent.
not be treated as us. They should not have the same freedom as us. Anyway, sorry.
No, this is talking about that too. The fact that
back.
You didn't even sway away from what we're talking about because this guy was convicted of first-degree murder twice. Rape.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's kind of what I was like going off of.
Exactly.
So anyway, now all the media has to kind of like they put their foot in their mouth when they were calling him this George Ozell, this like crazy murderer. So now they're kind of like backtracking and identifying him as this good father, like poor guy.
Yeah. But now it just swiftly goes into Ellie and Peanut talking about, like, Peanut basically calling her out, like, you should realize the people that love you.
Mm-hmm.
And I put, like, fuck, yes, Peanut.
Mm-hmm.
When she's just like, what matters, because, like, she was kind of blindsided by George Giselle. Mm-hmm. What matters is he's got a great smile and a big dick, and he knows how to use them both.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a rumor going around that people had seen Ellie and George Giselle kiss.
Oh yeah, so it just spreads like wildfire. Yeah,
of course. Like, one person saw it, and it's like everybody thinks that they're fucking now, and that's why she says that. And she's like, you know, he has a great smile, big dick, and whatever. And like, that's a best friend though, to be like calling her out on her shit.
Yes.
And this is like the first time Ellie's like, yes, that is normally me in the past, but like, I literally have zero interest in this guy. Like, I know he's gorgeous, but I don't even care.
He kissed her. Like,
that's
you know,
true.
In her defense, like,
he really did.
He like,
and it wasn't necessarily,
it wasn't like a make out.
No,
like, it was
pecked her or whatever.
Leaned down, kissed her, kind of weird. But like,
still don't like it.
It's not great.
No,
but like,
she
wasn't like, I'm gonna wrap my hands around your neck and kiss you back.
Like,
she was kind of like, wait, what?
Yeah. And that's when like they talk about like, hey, you need to realize who actually loves you in your life, to Ellie, and
she's like,
on her. What do you mean?
Me? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
so anyway,
Cal?
Who's Cal?
Yeah.
So then the book kind of, and this chapter kind of transitions into the courtroom.
Right.
And the judge is like, look, Julia, I know that you love Alice. I know that you have her best interest, but this is her father.
Yeah.
He's clearly not guilty of these crimes. She has to go with him. That's just she does. And it makes sense, but it doesn't because of the situation. She's still not speaking proper English.
No.
So
is very attached to Julia. We've talked about this before, how she puts her hand in her pocket and all these things, you know.
So,
but I get it though. Like the judge has to
the judge
has to rule in his favor. I mean, I would too.
Well, yeah. So basically, Julia's like, I love her, and George is like, I know, but she's my daughter, and I'll do and George is like, I'll do everything for her. I'll make sure she never forgets you. Yeah. I'm gonna provide the best care for her. But it's like, dude, okay, if it were me, which I have no idea what I'm talking about, but if it were me and I was George, I would be like, look, you're the best, and you have experience with her at this point. And I know that it might seem like Alice would prefer her to her father at this point. But so what if that's what's best for her?
Right.
You know?
It's definitely a very hard situation. I feel like if it was like my personal life, I would have a hard time seeing that. But like just being in the thick of this book, I'm just like,
because you get to see both perspectives.
Totally. Yeah, exactly. And that's the hardest. It's almost harder to be like, oh, what's better, you know? But it does come to the conclusion that he's gonna take her away, and they're gonna try to figure out how to live together.
Okay, so then later on in this chapter 25, Julia and Ellie are sitting on the porch, and Julia is asking Ellie to stay and sit with her as she's like crying about the whole situation. And then Ellie decides to go on a walk by herself, and she finds herself going. Yeah, she just like meanders.
Like
weird how she
like,
ends up.
My feet take me to Cal's house.
I can't believe it. So did my heart.
Maybe you should write this book.
So she's like creeping through the house. Hello, where are you? And he's like, oh my God, Ellie, what are you doing here? This is so crazy. No, none of the girls are home. Peanut took them to dinner and a movie so that I could work.
What is he working on, Demi?
A
comic.
Oh my God, that's right.
Comic based on
them.
Ellie and Cal.
Yep.
And she's like, oh my God, you're so good. He's like, yeah, I know I'm fucking good.
Yep.
Hello.
Yeah.
That's why I've been drawing all these years. Oh my God.
What?
I freaked out when he like.
I know.
I'm not gonna lie. If Shiloh were to just like put me up against a wall and kiss me, not even like get like
not like
physical.
Gnarly.
No. But just
punch me in the face. No.
Punch me in the face. No. But just like just like get into it a little bit. You know. I've been down with that. Although I was grumpy.
It's just like not like him. It's out of his character.
It's
so she's like, I'm sorry, what?
He's like, ooh, this is what I've been needing. This is what I've been needing. So we kind of been beating around the book. What happened is that like, oh, she's like, hey, Cal, you're really good at this. This is so awesome that this little comic is about us. And he's like looking to like publish and stuff like that. And he's just like, there's been something I've been wanting to tell you. And she's like, what?
What do you want to tell me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when he just like lays it on her.
Yes. Kisses her, tongue and all is what it says.
Yeah, exactly. He's not holding back.
No. And then he says, you get it now? Oh my God. Yeah.
Love it.
So everyone in town knows, obviously. Peanut comes in and is like, it's literally about time. Like,
seriously, why did it take you so long, Cal?
I know. Yeah. Yeah. So they're a couple. They're official. There it is.
Yay.
Yes. Then
called it. Motherfucking called it.
Good for you. You did it. Good job.
I done did it. I got so excited.
I did it.
Is that an A+?
A++. So then we go back to Sadness and
because she takes us on a roller coaster.
I know. She really is. We're all up and down at this point. And then it's back with Julia and Alice, and Alice ends up calling her mommy, and she said, I wish I could be that for you. Also crying at this point, probably.
This is exactly when I would think I was crying. Okay, because this is when George comes to pick up Alice, and that's why she called, and then she calls her mommy, and then she's like, I wish I could be that for you, just like Demi just said. I'm just being a bitch and recapping.
Yeah, no, recap away.
So, oh my God, the part that made me cry so much, I'm actually like getting teary-eyed thinking about it, is when, so like, Alice realizes something's happening, right? And she's calling her, and she's like realizing that like the shoes. So she's like, okay, she knows that she's not doing something. She thinks she's being bad. She thinks that she can fix it by putting on her shoes because Alice knows that Julia knows that she hates shoes. Like she doesn't want to put them on. She hates them. They feel binding. They make her sweaty. And she's just like, if I, like, shoes, Alice, like, if I put on the shoes, will you, like, not be mad anymore?
She said she's sleeping in the shoes.
Yeah. And that, I literally
when she's, like, trying.
Bawling.
I know.
Like, trying to figure out what to do to be, like, a good girl. And it's just like, no.
I know. You are such a good girl.
Yeah, you're so good. And
then she says, shoes, promise.
And then that's when, like, Julia just looks out the window and sees, like, the car pulling up. Like, there's nothing she can do.
Yep.
There's nothing she can do. Yeah,
So
I even put a note, teary-eyed, when they talked about the town thought of Alice as their girl. And I just, like, I totally cried on that part. Don't do this to me.
So this idiot, George, so he's pulling up in a Ferrari to pick up his kid. And it's like, ugh, douche nation. Like,
Capital
with all the
doucheville.
Yeah. And so, like, he's got all the reporters and the Ferrari and like, we get it. You're rich, whatever. So.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah. And so he, like, picks up Brittany.
Ugh.
Alice. He picks up Alice. And then she keeps saying, like, no, Alice, no go, Alice, stay, Julie, mommy. And she keeps, like, trying, and she's, like, kicking and screaming, growling, howling. She scratched Julia's face in her own, and Julia's, like, really trying to keep her calm. And then this doctor that...
another psychiatrist, right?
Yeah. That George brought with him gave
Dr.
her...
Carell.
Gave her a sedative. And then...
That's when... Okay, we haven't, like, touched on this. So Alice has never been able to cry. And every time she talks about, like, seeing Julia, like, water coming from her eyes, like, she's just like, I don't know how to, like, in her own mind is like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know why she keeps having water come from her eyes. So when the doctor stabs her with a sedative, tears. Oh, God.
And me too.
Me too. Oh,
yeah.
When I read that, I was like, I feel it.
I know. I felt everything.
I did.
Then she looked up at Julia and whimpered 2 words before she fell asleep. Real hurts.
I know.
Cry right now.
I know.
So she's like, where's her booster seat to George? she's not a baby. And then Ellie's like, oh my God, you're such a moron.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get it. So then he finally, like, basically he just takes off.
Yeah.
And leaves them. And then
Julia is in shambles.
Totally. I mean, duh. Yeah. Then George is driving away, and he's like trying to explain to her like what the situation is, and she's saying like, Julie, mommy gone, Alice bad girl. And she, like, the man George looks at her, and she sees a frown on his face, and she recognizes that, like, if he's frowning, I'm gonna get hit.
And she, like, braces for it.
Yeah. But he doesn't, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Oh, before they left, like, I just want to touch on this real quick. When they put her in there, and Julia's like, I just want to throw myself in front of your car, and he's like, I know. Like, the thing with him is I think he is starting to realize, like, how intimate their relationship is, and and I kind of do. He wants to. He's like, once our relationship is established, like, I want you to have a relationship with her. I don't want her ever to forget you. I know what you've done for us, for her. Like, I really do appreciate that. And of course, she's not having a good time of it. Like, and Max is so sweet. He's just, like, letting her cry. He's like, I get it. Like, just cry it out.
Just
like,
cry. I'm here for you.
I've been through this in my own way. Not necessarily the same thing, but, like, I get it. Like, do your thing.
Right. So then Max and Ellie are at the house, or I'm sorry, Julia are at the house. They hear a knock on the door, and she goes and opens it, and George is standing there with Alice, and he tells her she thinks you let her go because she was bad. And then she goes to Alice and said, oh, honey, you are a good girl, the best. And then Alice started to cry.
I know.
Then she says, use your words. And then George basically explains, like,
we went somewhere to go eat, and she had, like, a freaking meltdown.
He says, George says, I'm not who she needs. Loving her and parenting her are two different things, and she belongs here with you. I'm gonna cry again.
That's good, because I'm so happy. Because he also realized how important it was.
So good. That's like the
Kristen and Hannah.
We just want the best for your kid. It's so nice.
It is. I'm not laughing at you. It's just so sweet, your reaction.
Oh my gosh, so cute. Damn it, Kristen Hannah.
Damn you.
I thought I already read it, and here I am, freaking baby. Sucks.
No,
okay.
It doesn't. Let it out, girl.
Okay, let the rain fall down.
Hillary Duff.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Okay. Take it away.
So, he's just like, keep her close. I made that mistake because he's talked about before, like, I know I wasn't there for her, when I should have been, when she was little. Not that she would have remembered when she was 2.5 and was kidnapped,
Yeah.
But, like, he wants to be a father for her, and he knows that he might be able to be later. He just, he wants to stay in contact with her. Just please let her know that I love her, and I'm not letting her go. I just know that this is best for her, and like you just said, like, that's the point of being a parent. Like, you have to know what's best for your child, and he knows that being with Julia, who has had this insane bond with this little girl after all her trauma, and then
she turns to Julia. Alice does, and says, "Alice home," and then Julie nods and says, "Alice is home," and then Alice whispers, "Julie, mommy."
Yep, and then love Julie, mommy. Alice, stay. And Julia says, yes, Alice, stay. It's so beautiful.
I'm an idiot.
No, you're not. Don't feel stupid for crying. It's beautiful.
I've already cried about it, though. Not even, like, really reading it right now.
It's been, like, over a week.
Oh, it's been longer. It's been a long time.
That's what I'm saying. And then we're on the epilogue.
Okay, yes.
We're finishing the book, friends.
Yeah.
So Julia takes Alice to her first day of kindergarten. They, like, know that, like, Alice is obviously older. She's missing teeth already.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be in a different grade. Obviously, she's not. And Ellie walks up because she is now the mother of Cal's 3 girls. Like, she's taking on that role. And his Cal's girls are so sweet. Like, goes up to Alice and is just like super understanding and is just like, "Hey, Alice, like, come with me. Like, let's do this together. I know where your room is for school. Like, I'll take you there." So it was Ellie that said to Julia, "Did you imagine that we'd ever be doing this with our daughters? Like, taking them to the first day of school together?"
I know.
So Cal sells his house and moves in with Ellie. They kind of like want to let go of the memories, the bad memories and stuff that they had with Lisa and stuff like that. And Julia says that Max asked her to marry.
Yay, they're engaged.
Woo!
So sweet.
So mother freaking sweet.
So,
and they end with like, Kristen Hanna kind of ends with like why she called this book Magic Hour too.
Oh my God. Also, so sorry.
What?
Who she dedicated the book to?
Her son? Wasn't that it?
Tucker. I cried again. I can't stop crying.
Let the tears fall, girl. Let it fall.
Wait, can I?
Cry.
Know that whatever you do, wherever you go, we will always love you.
Oh, see, that's at the beginning of my book.
Why?
That's why I'm like,
not talk to each other.
Why are different
They're
names
non-speaking
spelled different?
terms.
Yeah, exactly. But for the Magic Hour thing, it was Rain Valley would talk about the special time when a child unlike any other had walked out of the woods into their lives and changed them all, and how it had begun in mid-October when the trees were dressed in tangerine leaves and danced in the chilly rain-scented breeze, and the sun was a brilliant shade of gold that illuminated everything. Magic Hour. For the rest of her life, she'd remember it as the time she had finally come home. That was Julia saying that, and I'm just like,
where does it say that?
The last page, the very last page, the last chapter, or the last paragraph.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah. So good, and we're done. Kristen Hanna, if we could, we would literally read every single motherfucking book.
We will.
We will
get there eventually. We are still young.
I know. I'm just like, if we could, I'd read it for like another book next.
I know. Let's like do every other month or something.
We might have to because I love her so much.
I know.
Yeah.
She's great. She's
truly
so good. So this is also great news. She got a God, what am I even talking about? Anyway, one of her books is going to be as a movie.
In January.
Nightingale.
The Nightingale is coming out in January.
And
Demi's favorite book by her, The Great Alone. When is that one coming out?
I don't know. I think it just...
I thought you said in that post you sent me.
Oh.
The post you sent me.
Oh, you're right. I think like October or something like that.
There's two movies coming out in next year.
Two Kristen Hanna books are coming out as movies.
My favorite book by Kristen Hanna, The Nightingale, is coming out
in
January.
There should be previews, no?
I've looked into it and it doesn't even say like who's in it. Yeah.
Are you sure it's January?
Yep.
It says.
January 2019 on IMDb.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then The Great Alone is coming out.
It?
I know. I want to know so
bad.
Yeah.
Well, they'll have to put something out
soon.
Oh my God. I bet you in December, like Christmas.
It's probably going to start showing like around
I love going to the movies on Christmas.
I know, yeah. Seriously. It's probably going to start showing the commercials here during the holidays. That's like the biggest time of year. Yes. Yeah.
Love it. Do you know that I saw The Wolf of Wall Street on Christmas with my dad? Yeah.
Very sexual.
Disgusting.
So sexual.
Disgusting.
I saw Red Sparrow with my dad. And,
I haven't seen that one.
My girl is J-Law.
Yeah.
Love her so much. And like she doesn't show her vag or anything, but like boobs. I mean, it's kind of like it was
too
much
much.
Weird. One of the first movies I ever saw with when my dad was like in the room though was Euro Trip.
No.
My friend Cassie was over too, and we were watching it in the living room. And they come out and they have the whole sausage fest where the guys are like dick free flying. And my dad was in the freaking room. Ew. And my dad probably doesn't even remember this because it probably was like whatever, who cares? But to me, I'm just like, oh
my God, I used to watch like True Blood with my dad. Ew.
Not True Blood.
Not
so
True
sexual.
Blood. Nasty.
So nasty.
All right.
So we have a new book already.
Yes.
What is it, Demi?
It's called
Behind Closed Doors.
Yup. It's called Behind Closed Doors. I knew it.
I'll beat you. Like you did last week.
Okay. So the reason that we picked this book for next month, though, is because we're really excited about a new show that's coming out on what channel?
Is it
Oxygen?
Oxygen.
I think it's Oxygen.
So it's called Dirty John.
Which is a podcast.
It was a podcast. So it was a Los Angeles Times journalist that reported about this insane mother freaking story.
You need to listen to. If you haven't listened to Dirty John, you need to listen to Dirty John immediately. It's very important.
One of the wildest podcasts I've ever listened to. It's like 7-8 episodes.
Yeah,
maybe.
It's not very long,
but it does have bonus episodes and stuff like that.
It's because it's so recent that there's new stuff that's constantly coming out about it.
It's about this guy named John who gets in a relationship with this woman named Deborah,
and he's very mentally. I don't think physically. He's very threatening. He's a liar.
Yeah,
he's
very controlling.
Very controlling, mentally abusive.
She doesn't see it right away.
Everybody else does in her life, and it just kind of unravels once they get together in a short amount of time.
I'm not kidding you. This is one of the best podcasts I've ever listened to in my life.
Yes.
Please read it.
Listen
to it. Read it. Yeah.
We're really excited for the show to come out. And so we kind of wanted to go, we wanted our book to be cohesive with that so we can kind of
see how it might relate
and just kind of
go off that theme.
Yeah, have that be our theme for December. Abusive relationships. Happy Christmas. Yeah. So,
but also too, because how we've talked about Despite the Dark in our last couple episodes, we did have that conference call with them. We're going to start working really closely with them. We are going to launch
a Sacramento branch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's exactly right. So we've mentioned before, they're based out of Chicago. They're
advocating and just bringing awareness
to women's safety, safety in general, but women's
safety for everyone, but in particular women
feeling like they can't run at night or walk at night or do any of these things. So we're going to organize an event that coincides with their event in Chicago because they want to branch out as well. So that's going to be happening December 17th. Yeah. So everybody, all of our friends in Sacramento, please
look
come
it
support
up.
us. Yeah.
We're really excited to be working with them. And so we'll keep you updated as we progress in that. But
that way.
Mark your calendars.
So
for
this
December
whole
17th.
month is just kind of going around
just women
and
empowering
safety.
And,
exactly.
Yeah, women empowerment and women saying that we're not going to tolerate it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're either with us or against us, and pick your side.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, this book looks amazing.
Yep.
And check it out. So basically, just a quick synopsis. It says, everybody knows a couple like Jack and Grace. He has looks and wealth. She has charm and elegance. He's a dedicated attorney who has never lost a case, and she is a flawless homemaker, a masterful gardener and cook, and dotes on her disabled younger sister. Some might call this true love. Others might wonder why Grace never answers the phone or why she can never meet for coffee even though she doesn't work. How can she cook such elaborate meals but remain so slim? Some might wonder what's really going on once the dinner party is over and the front door has closed. That's really brief. There's more to it, but just wanted to give you a little something.
So also, these chapters are somewhat weird.
Yeah, it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chapters.
Yeah, exactly.
It goes back and forth, past, present, past, present.
Right. So to start this off, we are going to read up until the 7th chapter, quote unquote, which is the 4th.
If you look in your chapters, it's going to be, and again, I'm reading off my iPad, and it's the 4th present chapters. So you'll count, it goes past, present, past, present, past, present, past,
present.
present.
So the
fourth one, you're going to stop there. The last line of chapter 6, I guess, is he leaned towards me, a smile played at the corner of his mouth. There is no housekeeper, he whispered. So That's where you're going to stop.
Yeah. I'm still waiting on my book. So once I get that, we'll kind of have like a page for the book and then also a page for the iPad.
Yep.
So, please join along with us and see how it connects. We'll be talking a lot about
Dirty John.
I'll
probably even start listening to the podcast again.
100%.
Yeah. I've already listened to it twice because I can't believe it.
Twice?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't handle that.
I just finished the podcast not that long ago, so that's why
okay.
So I'm going to, obviously, because I want to relate it. By the way, like, Dirty John, the show hasn't gotten that good of reviews. Did you know this? So I was reading a review about it the other day, and it's just like, can't relate to Deborah. She seems like an idiot. And I'm like, dude, that's her in the podcast. Like, you kind of, like, don't relate to her because, like, she's not being very smart. No, Deborah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So, I'm just like, no, this sounds like the podcast. This literally, you are saying
you don't want to victim blame.
No, and I'm not.
Yeah. No, but
you also just can't understand how. Yeah. Anyway,
you have to listen
to the podcast, please. Yeah. Please. We've gotten so many people on it. Please keep listening.
So we're gonna do a short Q&A.
Yes, we are.
Do you want to go first?
No.
So I just clicked this one.
Okay.
Me and this guy dated for 7 months a bit ago, and we broke up because there was a death in my family and I pushed him away. We mutually broke up because I think we were too immature to handle it, but we're older now and I keep thinking about all the good times and there was no bad ones. What do I do?
So they broke up because there was a death in the family.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
How long has it been since they broke up?
Doesn't say.
Honestly, you really should. If you really felt that way, like you feel like there was nothing bad about the relationship, you were just dealing with something that was traumatic and traumatizing. I don't see a problem with reaching out. Be like, I apologize that I wasn't in the place I could be for our relationship.
Sure.
I do miss you. I liked being around you. I think that if you are willing to, do you want to see where this goes again?
Get to know each other.
Yeah. I don't see that there's a problem with that, especially because you went through some traumatizing stuff.
Sure.
Like,
well, I mean, I was just telling you last week about when my dad got really sick.
Right.
And I had just graduated high school. I was in college and I was dating this guy and we had dated for like 3 years. And as soon as my dad got sick, I mean, we were young, obviously, but as soon as my dad got sick, it was like I had this moment of clarity where I was just like, look, I love him, but I cannot deal with this right now.
I can only focus on my dad right now.
I can focus on my dad. Yeah. And so I broke up with him and I get that. Like it's just like you need to clear space in your head for all that you can handle.
Exactly.
And if you can't handle a relationship and that person understands, I mean, why not reach out and give it a shot?
Yeah,
there's no harm in doing that and being kind of vulnerable and saying,
totally.
I was in this place. I was going through something traumatic. How are you?
Yeah, exactly.
Not let's get back together, but let's meet up for coffee or whatever people say these days.
Yeah. What do people say?
I don't know. I don't do it.
Yeah.
Not doing it anymore.
No, thanks. No. I'm good.
Yeah. Reach out to him. And I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, I'm very sorry for your loss. But that's right.
Yeah.
Be a little vulnerable. You've already been through some stuff. You can handle this. You got it.
Yeah.
You got it, whoever you are. What does it mean when a guy says he needs to be alone for a while and is not active on any social media and won't answer messages or explain why?
That he needs time for himself. Yeah, exactly. Like if he's not on social media and he's not reaching out to you, then he just needs space. Like that's kind of a hard question too. Like you kind of need more information. Like are you in a deep, like rooted relationship? Are you a fling? Are you?
I wouldn't think they'd be in a deep rooted. That would be surprising if they were, because that would be
scary.
Yeah,
scary.
So I want to say, for argument's sake, that they're probably not in a deep relationship. Yeah, you're absolutely right, though. He needs to be alone.
I think there's really nothing wrong with that either, because then if he's not on social media, then that shows you that he's telling the truth.
Absolutely.
Like he's not trying to like
get away from you
yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah, or like go to clubs and like behind your back and post pictures like or whatever. I don't know, but yeah.
As this person asking this, I just would hope that they would be empathetic, you know what I mean? Like just realize that sometimes not everybody knows how to handle situations and sometimes people do need to disconnect and just be with themselves. And
yes,
we've even talked about that on here, like be with yourself, like appreciate yourself and, you know, like
give yourself time. You can get so wrapped up in like day to day that it's really important to refocus.
And be understanding for people that need to.
Yes. Yeah. That's why for me, this weekend was so good. Like I was with my family and, you know, everybody, but when oh my God, when I go to the beach, Jess, I feel like I'm whole. Like,
oh, I love that. That's so beautiful. That makes me so happy for you.
You like are standing on the sand and like watching the ocean. It's so centering, and you're just like, this is all I need. So to this person, I would not read into that. Like, don't feel offended. Like, don't be selfish. Let them take their time, and they can come back and be a completely new person.
Yeah. And also like maybe check in with them after they come back and be like, are you feeling better? Do you need it? Or, you know, are you fine? Do you need to talk about anything? Right. Yes. Okay. Whatever.
If not,
take it from there.
Maybe they're not ready. Yeah. Completely.
Yeah. Just be understanding.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Great.
Woo-hoo. Super great.
Well, you guys, we hope, I'm speaking for us now as a couple.
We are.
We hope that you
Podcast
had,
wives.
yes. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving and you had awesome family time and food time and just got to do all the things you wanted to do.
Hopefully you took some time off work if you're able to.
Yes.
We're
Go
able
to the beach,
chill out.
find your center.
Yeah. Please come and join us watching Dirty John,
listening to Dirty John, and reading. What's it called?
Behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors. Read it. Buy it on Amazon.
Yeah. Find us on Instagram at Can I Just Say One Thing?
Number 1.
Email it. That's at the email. Email us at Can I Just Say One Thing? The 1 is the number 1.
Number 1.
At gmail.com. Twitter is Just Say One Thing. Number 1. Benny has not gotten on that for us. Our manager has not stepped up.
Benny.
But yes, we love hearing from you guys. We'll keep you updated about Despite the Dark, and
yes,
yeah,
check them out too. We're gonna post
definitely
them.
talk about them a lot.
Yeah,
more than anything.
So excited,
and we even told them the other day, like, and I feel like this too, like. Even if this podcast doesn't like soar, you know,
just the fact that
we're doing this is amazing.
Yeah,
I want this to be like my thing.
Yes,
yeah, our thing. Like I want this to be something that we do.
Yes.
I love it so much. I'm so for it.
Very much.
Oh my gosh,
very much.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, guys, have a great week.
Yes,
we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Goodbye.